Hi, I'm Chef Peter Sclafani from Ruffino's restaurant in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite shrimp dishes. It's shrimp and grits. As you know, shrimp and grits is a classic southern dish. But today I'm going to give it a little Italian twist. Instead of using traditional grits, I'm going to show you how to make polenta. Polenta is kind of an Italian staple that's very similar to grits, except instead of using hominy, we're going to use some cornmeal. And I'm also going to add a little secret ingredient. We're going to add semolina. Semolina is the kind of flour that they use to make pasta, but it's going to help to make our polenta really nice and creamy. Okay, so now to the chicken stock and the cream, I'm going to go ahead and add some cornmeal. So this is very traditional in making polenta. I want to bring my liquid to a boil, and we're going to slowly just drizzle in the cornmeal while we're whisking. So the only thing that I'm doing different now is I'm only adding half the amount in cornmeal, and the other half I'm going to add in polenta. In semolina. So now as soon as I start to add the semolina, it's going to start to thicken, which is what we want. So what I'm going to do is turn the heat down a little bit now, and we're going to get started on our sauce. So we're just going to let that simmer. I'm going to start by adding a little olive oil to the pan. And what I'm going to do is begin to render a little tasso. Tasso is one of my favorite kind of Cajun Creole ingredients. It's a nicely spiced Cajun ham. So it's already cooked, but what we're looking for is we're looking to render out some of that smoke flavor from the tasso and some of the spice that's heavily coated on the outside of the tasso. So we just want to let that cook. Now if you can't find tasso, not to worry. You can substitute any kind of spice, smoked pork product. I love andouille if you have that. You could use chorizo. You could even use bacon if you'd like. But some kind of smoked meat really adds to the dish. Now we're going to add some onions. I love Vidalia onions in season, but any kind of sweet onion or even just a regular yellow onion would be fine. I'm not really cooking the onions to get any color on them. I'm just cooking them to kind of sweat them out a little bit. I want them to soften up a little bit, turn translucent, and start to develop some of the sugar and some of that great onion flavor. It smells delicious. That onion and that tasso cooking together is great. So now I've cooked that onion for just a second. You can see it's kind of starting to turn translucent. Now we're going to add some garlic. So once I add the garlic, I really only want to let that cook for about a minute. So the oils start to release in the garlic. We really start to get that fragrant garlic aroma. That's what we're looking for. It's going to start to stick on the bottom just a touch. Now it's time to add the shrimp. So at Ruffino's, I only use Louisiana shrimp, never any imported shrimp. And I like white shrimp as opposed to brown shrimp, but that's just my personal preference. At the restaurant, we always use big shrimp. So these are called 16-20 headless shrimp. So that means there's 16 to 20 shrimp to the pound. You can see the shrimp are just beginning to turn colors. I do not want to overcook the shrimp. Now we're going to add some creole tomatoes that I've peeled, seeded, and diced. And we're going to just stir those around for 1 second. And we've got some great stuff going on in the bottom of the pan here. We're going to take some white wine and add some white wine. And now all that stuff's going to start to come up from the bottom of the pan. That's going to be the foundation of the flavor of the dish. So we're just going to let that cook. You can see that wine is simmering already. The shrimp are still beginning to turn pink, which is great. Now we're going to add some cream. Cream is really the base of the sauce. So we're going to add a little of that cream in here. And for seasoning, we're going to add some Creole seasoning. We make our own homemade Creole seasoning at Ruffino's, but you can buy a store-bought brand if you'd like. And then I'm adding some fresh thyme leaves that I've just pulled off the stems and chopped. And we're going to let that come up to a simmer. And And while that's simmering, I'm going to go back and stir my polenta again. It really has thickened nicely. I'm going to go ahead and season the polenta. I have a little touch of nutmeg. We're going to add a little nutmeg. And I'm adding some white pepper. You could add black pepper, but I really like white pepper in a light colored dish like this so you don't see it. And we're going to let that continue to cook on a low heat. Now our sauce is simmering. We just want that cream to reduce for just a minute and thicken up just slightly. So we're going to go ahead and let that cook for about 5 minutes. Alright, now that my cream is nicely reduced, I've got a nice thick sauce. We're going to add some chopped parsley. I always use flat leaf Italian parsley. And we've got some nice sliced green onions. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of butter just to finish up the sauce. Now I don't want to just let the butter melt. I want to shake the pan. I want that butter to emulsify into the sauce. So we're going to shake it like that and stir it. I could turn the heat off. Remember, I don't want those shrimp to overcook. So now that sauce is done. To finish the polenta, I'm going to take some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. And I love this Fontina cheese, so I've taken some great Fontina. It's a great melting cheese. And now we're just going to stir that in. That cheese melts right away. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Okay. So that's done. We're going to take some of this nice, creamy, cheesy polenta and put it right in the center. Our Italian grits. And now we're going to grab a few of these shrimp and this nicely reduced tasso cream sauce. Some of my favorite Louisiana ingredients. And there you have it, Italian-style shrimp and grits from Ruffino's restaurant. A wine that I really love to pair with seafood is Chardonnay. And I have this great Chardonnay today. It's the Jordan Chard 2009. Jordan's one of my favorite wineries. It's in Sonoma on the Russian River. And it sees a little bit of oak, but it's not one of those overly oaky, buttery wines. It's still got great fruit in it. I just love it. It's going to go perfect with the shrimp and grits. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please visit ruffinosrestaurant.com for more videos and recipes. And I hope to see you here soon at Ruffino's.